Welcome back. Now we're going to talk about the issue book function. And issue book function, you're going to have to write yourself first. And what it does is it asks the user for the ID input. It inputs the ID from the user from the console. Then it says, okay, you've given me the input ID, and the parameter only takes books, all the books, and then it finds the ID of the book with using the find book function that we just wrote here, this one. And then it just sets the value for that thing to be true, and that's pretty much it. Because when you've given it the books, it just changes it there, and the change here is reflected there in the main array, as you will see, because it works with references and the address is the same address that we're dealing with here. So write the function yourself, and you will use the dot operator for accessing the class, this class, because of course you're dealing with the array of these things. So you'll just do something like the book that you're dealing with that has that ID, and then its issued will be changed to true. So write that, and then I'll write it for you, and pause the video. So I'm sure that you have written the function yourself. If you had any problem, or even if you had written it, just check this and see if you wrote the same thing, or there are different ways of doing the same thing. So let's write the issue book function. The issue book function, as I told you before, it only takes books in its parameter. Then you take the ID. ID is something that you take from the user input, and you say, okay, enter the ID of the book you want to issue. And then the index will be something that this function that I wrote here is going to return. So I can type in find the book, and the books that will be given to this function, and the ID that will be taken here. Now if index is actually none, is actually, if it is none, then of course we give an error and say, okay, not give an error, we just tell them that, well, we didn't find any of your books, so what are you trying to issue? But if that is not none, you say, all right, I'm going to do something with your books. I'm going to change this value right here that you stored to issue to true. And it's not going to be happening here because we know that we have to save the books actually using the save books function. So you go to that index, you get the book, and you set its issued to true. Now we didn't make a set issued method, though it's a good practice to do it, but this is not an OOP course. You can just use something like this. Dot to access the attribute, dot issued, and set it equal to true. That's all you have to do, and it will totally work. And in the else statement, of course, you're gonna write, well, we weren't able to do anything with your book because we didn't find your book. Could not find the book you're looking for. And that's pretty much it for the issue book function. Now in the next lecture we'll see the next function, and make sure you understand these things. If you don't, just ask any question and I will be able to answer it. So I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care.